Wayfair has a hot tub that you can get for like $400.
Why do you want a hot tub so bad?
Because I like being warm, and I like water, so it seems like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, but the only times we would use it is when it's already warm out.
Not necessarily. It wouldn't like the fall when it's like kind of chilly out.
It's a lot of upkeep too.
Probably.
No, you won't.
Maybe. You don't know until you try. Maybe by the time we can afford a hot tub, they'll make like self-cleaning hot tubs. They might already make self-cleaning hot tubs.
I don't know if that's a thing. I don't think it is.
Well, we should look into it because I want a hot tub.
Welcome to episode 7 of the Butts and Seats podcast. Nope, it's episode 8.
I don't remember.
It's episode 8. Welcome to episode 8 of the Butts and Seats podcast. The December 28th, 1998 episode of Monday Nitro.
Yeah, well, we are in the new year at this point. This is not.
No, very close.
So close.
It's our first full sit down. We're going to watch all of Nitro.
It was an experience.
It was.
Like, I expected to go into this absolutely, like, tearing it to pieces and hating every minute of it. I think so did you a little bit.
A little bit.
But it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. I think it helps that this is normally over 3 hours with commercials, but because we're watching it on the network, there's no commercials, so it's like 2:20, you know.
Still, that is an absurd amount of time for a piece of television.
Well,
And, like, I recognize that current day WWE is like a 3-hour show. That's still absurd.
Yeah, Raw is 3 hours, SmackDown's 2, NXT is 1. There's
Yeah.
main event somewhere, I think, still going on.
I can understand 2 hours. Like, I can get on board for 2. I watch The Bachelor every week. But 3 hours is unbelievable. Like, there was a couple years ago when The Bachelor finale was 3 hours, and I was like, I'm not watching all of this. There's no way. I'm going to wait till it's on Hulu so I can fast forward.
But I'm saying, keep in mind, Bachelor, that's only their one episode a week.
Yeah.
As opposed to, oh, you need to watch all of this. Like, even, they're actually, they talked about it on, during one of the matches. It's like, oh yeah, there's Nitro, there's Thunder, there's Saturday Night, there's Worldwide.
And you
I'm
have
like,
to watch all of them to keep up with the storyline. That's an absurd amount of television.
So before we get into the episode itself, I thought it would be interesting to kind of do some potted highlights of the Wrestling Observer Newsletter's yearly awards for 1998. Considering this is the last one of 98.
Fair. Now, do they do this currently still?
Yes.
Okay.
It's across all wrestling companies, and they even started doing some MMA ones. So some of the ones here are New Japan and various non-WWF, WCW companies.
Gotcha.
I'll probably just skip those for your interest because it won't mean much to you.
Unless it's somebody that, like, I know that was wrestling in New Japan and won something.
So Wrestler of the Year, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Woo! Nope.
Yeah, this would be the year he first won the WWF title and has been feuding with Vince McMahon, which is the feud of the year, Austin versus McMahon. Sweet. He's also the best box office draw, beating Goldberg by quite a bit, apparently.
Really? Steve Austin?
Most improved, The Rock.
Oh, he's still like Baby Rock at this point, isn't he?
He would have ended 98 as champion.
Okay.
But, like, he literally won it in November, his first one ever.
Oh, we Baby Rock.
He apparently barely beat out Billy Kidman.
Really? For most improved?
Yeah.
Hey, that's my boy, Billy.
Bunch of Steve Austin, best on interviews, most charismatic.
Do we need to, like, go smash some beers?
Most overrated. Who do you think won that one?
Ooh, most overrated. Can I ask a company?
WCW.
Ah, okay. Goldberg?
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I see that. Second guess was going to be Kevin Nash.
Not a bad guess.
Yeah.
Most underrated.
Ooh.
Also WCW.
Rey Mysterio.
Chris Benoit.
Benoit. Oh, my
Or
second guess would have been
I
Jericho.
guess. Best weekly TV show? Was it Raw or Nitro?
Nitro.
No, it was Monday Night Raw.
Really?
Yeah. Rookie of the Year. Bill Goldberg.
Rookie of the year?
I think he debuted late 97, but Goldberg's brand new. Oh, apparently worst TV announcer was Lee Marshall.
Remind me who Lee Marshall is?
Son of the Tiger.
Oh. I have nothing to say about that.
Yeah, I think he does some Thunder work, and we don't really...
We don't watch Thunder.
Yeah, so, best major wrestling card was ECW Heatwave 98.
Really?
Oh, this slightly disappoints me and slightly makes me feel better. Worst major wrestling card WCW Fall Brawl 98, which would have been the pay-per-view right before Halloween Havoc.
I'd be interested to look into that card.
Maybe we'll have to look back at that eventually.
Yeah. That's funny.
I know it's main evented by a terrible War Games match, apparently.
War Games!
Most disgusting promotional tactic. WCW exploiting Scott Hall's real-life personal issues.
Yep. Yep, that tracks.
Reader's personal favorite wrestler, Mick Foley just beating out Chris Jericho.
I appreciate both of those because they are my favorite boys. I love them.
Reader's least favorite wrestler, Hulk Hogan for the 5th year in a row.
Yep.
Oh, he also won most overrated for the 5th year in a row.
Yeah.
Worst wrestler, Warrior.
Wait, you mean like the Warrior?
Yeah.
Really?
It's all varies on... In terms of his name, there's like 7 variations.
He's the worst
legally.
wrestler? Do you agree with that? You've seen more of him than I have.
With his stuff in 98, yeah.
He wasn't really around a lot in 98.
No, but he left his impact.
All right.
I think it's also easy to pick him when he's being touted up so much, and then that match was rough.
Yeah.
Say what you will about Hogan. Hogan can occasionally have a good match, depending on how motivated he is.
But he's so fucking annoying. I would rather watch a Warrior match than a Hulk Hogan match. Any day of the week.
Worst television show? Monday Nitro.
Hey.
Worst manager? Sonny Ono.
Yeah.
Worst match of the year? Hulk Hogan versus Warrior, Halloween Havoc.
Well, there you go.
Worst feud of the year? Hogan versus Warrior. Worst on interviews? Warrior. Which...
Okay, I get it. I'm wrong.
Worst on interviews? Warrior is... Yes and no. Warrior is the Nicolas Cage of interviews, where it's just like, what is happening? And you either love it or hate it because it's just so bizarre. We watched the plane crash promo.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It's like, is that a good promo or no?
No, it's not, but it's funny.
Worst promotion, WCW.
Damn.
Best booker, Vince McMahon, ending Paul Heyman's 4-year winning streak.
Damn, all right. In 98, though, yeah, I'd give it to Vince McMahon.
Best gimmick, Steve Austin. Worst gimmick, The Oddities. And most embarrassing wrestler, Warrior.
Damn, okay, I get it. I'm wrong. Everybody hates Warrior. Fuck, jeez. Who are the Oddities?
The Oddities are a weird team. We might actually see them next episode. But it's just this weird Island of Misfit Toys gimmick that were also kind of juggalos.
Okay.
They came out to Insane Clown Posse music. And then once ICP left, it was like, oh, this is kind of awkward now. It doesn't work as well now.
Okay.
The only unfortunate thing about that group is that Earthquake gets changed into a mass wrestler and no one remembers it's him. For better or worse.
Yeah, that could go either way.
In short, Steve Austin good, Warrior bad. I'm surprised Eric Bischoff got out kind of scot-free there.
He got, totally unscathed. Nothing. I mean, I guess that's either good or bad, depending on how you look at it.
Should we get into the actual episode?
Let's do it.
All right. This is the WCW Monday Nitro of December 28th, 1998. Live from Baltimore, Maryland.
Woohoo!
But we open first with limo footage from the previous night at Starrcade of the NWO just mocking Flair. And Kurt Hennig is with them.
Yeah. Who I mistook for Lex Luger, and then I realized that was stupid later on when he came out as a Wolfpack person. Like, well, that can't have been Lex Luger.
Nothing is really achieved in this.
Nothing is said.
Does Buff Bagwell choke at one point?
I think he, mimics choking.
Yeah.
No, he mimics Ric Flair's heart attack.
Oh.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. Okay.
They were just kind of, all talking over each other and being, dude bros.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nothing, and then it just, fades out to nothing.
And then we get the opening package.
Yeah.
We have Tony, Larry, and Mike on commentary, which if you don't say their last name, just sounds kind of funny.
Yeah, it sounds like Three Stooges.
Mike today notes that Starrcade was a historic yet disappointing night for WCW.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep.
Interesting that they say that on commentary, though.
Well, one, I think they're talking about how WCW and NWO are different.
Oh.
I think that's what they're going for.
But how would that make it disappointing?
Because Bischoff won and Goldberg lost.
Okay.
So that's my
Sure.
guess. I'm guessing Mike tonight wasn't like, oh, guys,
That was a rough
that show, right? Yeah.
But, like, yeah.
Tony then notes that the streak is over and says that Scott Hall helped. Larry then goes back to talking about Flair and Bischoff, and they just really skim over the fact that Goldberg's streak is over.
Oh, yeah, it was a one-line mention, and that was it.
Yeah. I've been thinking more and more about that, about why that doesn't work.
What, that they just skimmed over?
Well, just Goldberg, just that match.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, yeah, it's just one power bomb. You know what I mean?
That Nash did on Goldberg?
Yeah, I know there's this...
Well, he was tased.
Yeah,
he was
which they really tried to give Goldberg an out with that later. I don't like recommending, like, oh, hey, kick out of this guy's finisher a bunch, but it's like...
It's Goldberg. It's the streak. It's this massive thing, and it only takes one hit to get him out. Yeah, I didn't like it.
It's like, hey, Brock, why don't you F5 Roman Reigns 6 times before you beat him?
Give him the old Roman Reigns treatment.
In the middle of the commentators talking, suddenly we just get the same Eric Bischoff video package that's been airing for about a week now. And again, still nothing added onto the end. Mm-mm. Like, you know what makes sense? Have some stills at the end about, oh, I beat Ric Flair. No. That would require going back in the edit.
Yeah, that would require production work. And you know that Nitro does not put any budget into their production.
Once the package is over, Tony notes that they will talk to Rick's doctor about what happened with Flair's heart. And they tease that throughout a lot of the night.
Yeah.
We then get some Nitro stills from Starrcade.
Which is still my least favorite thing about these recaps. I hate the stills. I know they have to because it's like a paid thing, but it's so dumb. I hate it.
I don't mind it.
It bothers me every time.
They go to commercial, and I'm like, nothing's happened yet. We're at the first commercial break, and nothing has happened.
Yeah. Back
from commercial, we get the opening show Pyro then, and then we get some contest winners Nitro party video.
Which was like very wholesome and nice, but I don't understand why they showed it.
They have a contest, just like throw a Nitro party. Just like a viewing party and try to have it be themed, and we'll give you prizes if you do it.
It was very cute. Like the guys seemed to have a good time, and but why?
Fucking marks. Marks, all of them.
I did notice at the end of that promo that they like locked. Did you notice that they
locked
locked
the NWO guy? Yeah.
No, that was the competition winner. They locked him outside.
No, yeah.
Like, nah, you can come into your own party. Fuck you.
So more non-happenings on the episode of we get the Nitro girls now.
Yeah.
And I just noted Kimberly Page is about a foot taller than all the other Nitro girls.
And I did note that only one of them looked really confident with the choreography, which I'm pretty sure that means she was the choreographer.
Was it the tall one? Was it Kimberly?
I don't remember. I don't know their names.
Kimberly Page is one, DDP's wife. Two, was a character on screen before the Nitro Girls were a thing. So she's probably the most well-known.
You'll have to point her out to me. It was a big mess. Nobody was on beat. Or at least, like, not all of them were on beat, which really makes it look like none of them were on beat.
I zone out during these.
I find them entertaining. It's just funny.
Again, this should be something during, I think, for the commercial breaks.
Yeah, for the audience.
Now, would it make it better if they got Wildcat Willie involved? He's back.
I don't want to talk about Wildcat Willie.
Okay. We'll move on from Wildcat Willie.
That thing is in my nightmares. I hate it.
I don't know when it leaves. I just know it does leave.
You told me that it died. You told me that
I told you that it dies.
No, I thought you told me that it was like in a match that was like in a dark match that we didn't see and it got powerbombed and now it's dead.
Are you thinking of when, before the show went on the air, Scott Steiner beat him up a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't say he was gone. I think you merged what I said. I said at some point they just get rid of him because people were cheering him getting beaten up more than his actual appearances.
That thing is terrifying and I hate it. And when I saw it in the corner, it didn't even like make a full screen appearance. I saw it in the corner.
I don't even know if it even has, besides getting beaten up by Scott Steiner, I don't know if it has made a full screen appearance. It's usually in the background. It's
like fucking Slender Man. Once you see it, it just like follows you around. And you never unsee him.
So our first actual segment of the night, we get the Cat coming out with Worst Manager winner, Sonny Ono. So I guess they're fine after what I thought was almost a breakup angle at Starrcade.
Was it a breakup angle?
I mean, he kicked him and then left him in the ring. And then they're just back together here, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care.
So it's promo time, and we get an immediate shut up and sit down.
It's just a super generic heel promo.
Yeah.
It's just, you're all ugly, shut up, sit down,
I'm the greatest.
stupid.
Yeah, he calls him ugly. That's how I'm like, that's real.
You're trying so hard
Bottom
to
of
be
the
a heel.
barrel.
Like, come on.
Then I was surprised who came out. It's Chris Jericho.
And Ralphus.
And Ralphus. He calls him Ernest Mills. And introduces, and I quote, Shimarama Lama Ding Dong to face Ernest Miller.
I'd like to preface with, I'm pretty sure this is racist. I am not of Asian descent, but if I was, I feel like I would be offended by the botching of this name. So I'm like 99% sure this is racist.
Yeah. He then calls him Shama Naba Nubi.
Yeah, it doesn't get better.
He says he'll watch his back against Miller. But the guy doesn't want a scene to fight. And the guy's real name is Shima Nobunaga. That's his real name.
He just looked so sad and shy. He did not want to be there.
They note on commentary, I'm not sure he actually speaks English.
I don't know.
Yeah. Which may actually be the case.
It also would explain his horrible frosted tips.
Oh, yeah. It's bad. It makes Michael Coles look good.
I know.
But Jericho says they'll watch his back. And I thought they immediately left. But no, they stuck around a little bit.
Chris Jericho turned into one hell of a dance mom in this scene, though. He just got on the apron and started screaming at Shima, like, you gotta go fight, go babe, go. Like, if he was on Dance Moms, he would be like Abby Lee Miller. Like, it was weird.
That means nothing to me.
Okay, well, I don't have time to explain Dance Moms to you.
Okay. Commentary notes that Nobunaga has been training with Ultimo Dragon. They mention it again, 3 seconds before Miller hits a roundhouse kick and pins him. And it's
oh, yeah.
Okay. I thought for sure that was setting up
something.
Yeah.
This was such a weird match.
Yeah, I'm like, this happened.
Poor, sad, shy man just got annihilated.
No, his name is Shima, not Shy Man.
I hate you.
You're as bad as Chris Jericho.
Hey.
Shima Rama Lama Ding Dong. Jesus.
It's a fun name to say, though. Shima Nobunaga. It really rolls off the tongue. Not Shamalama Ding Dong. Shima Nobunaga. That's a fun name to say. I'll remember it.
After this, we get some more Nitro stills.
Ah!
Followed by a recap of Flair's heart attack from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, which again, I'm pretty sure this is the same video package that we got at Starrcade, I think. I feel like I'd seen
this isn't even a video package. This is just footage, kind of, with some cuts in between moments. It doesn't jump around in time or anything. It's just, here, remember this? Yeah.
I do. I was there.
You were there?
I was.
Damn.
Me and all of my 5-year-old glory.
4, but okay.
In 98, December 98, I think I was 5.
What year were you born, babe?
Oh, can we cut that?
No, this is staying. This is staying. What year were you born?
I don't want to talk about it.
What year? Say it.
1994.
Yes. And it's late 94 as well.
I thought since it was after November of 1998, I was 5. But no, that just means I just turned 4. I'm just very good at math over here. Having a good time.
By the way, next episode, once it's 99, you're not 5 years old then. You have to wait till your birthday.
God. I do the words. I don't do the numbers. Ages are hard, okay?
So you can tell we're in the first hour of Nitro, because next up we get Norman Smiley versus Chavo Guerrero Jr.
He looked like such a wee bab.
Was he a hunk?
Yes.
Well,
the goatee is the thin goatee, on the sides when it's pencil thin. I hate that. But it's 98, so I'm going to let it slide. But Chavo's a hunk.
I say this because his uncle's the leader and not because he's Hispanic. I'm kind of surprised Chavo's not in the LWO.
I wonder if that turns into a storyline in the next couple of weeks where or maybe not even a storyline, but the LWO comes out and Chavo's just in it now.
So Norman does his soon to be named dance on the way out, and Chavo comes out with a plushed horse head on a stick.
Yeah, it's it's a riding horse toy.
Yeah, and he's talking to it the whole time.
So I thought when this happened, I asked Nick if this was supposed to be a comparison or a competition sort of thing with Al Snow and his head thing, the mannequin
I think
head.
you're looking for the word ripoff.
Ripoff, yeah.
Yeah, that actually, I was wrong when we were watching it. Yeah, Al Snow's head gimmick dates back to like 97.
Oh, so this could be.
Yeah, funny thing is, this felt closer to Moppy than it did Head.
I don't think it's Moppy because it doesn't seem like they're intentionally trying to make Chavo look stupid.
Maybe not intentionally, but they are.
Moppy was intentionally to make Perry Saturn look mentally deficient.
Here's the thing. Al Snow was insane. That's why he had the mannequin head. Chavo, what's Chavo? Chavo, I mean, like, he's either an idiot or insane, but they're really walking that line.
Yeah, this one I really couldn't tell what they were going for. See, he didn't come off as either.
So the match starts, and they both just pose. And I think that's the moment I knew. I'm like, oh, this is going to be...
This is one of those matches.
They chain wrestle a bit before Chavo picks up the pace. Norman counters a Stratisfaction to a back suplex, which is a nice little spot. Norman hits his spinning scoop slam and then slows things right back down. We get an Aloha Norman, which leads to his ass slapping dance.
Yes. I only learned what the Aloha thing was pretty recently because you explained it to me and it really does make sense. Like, it's a good name for it.
I did not create that.
I know you didn't, but like the phrase makes sense for what that move is.
Does Norman's dance move have a name that makes sense to you?
No.
Commentary deems it the Big Wiggle.
He's literally like shaking his own butt and slapping a...
He's wiggling his butt.
Well, he's like kind of swaying back and forth. But the main point of that dance is that he is slapping an imaginary ass. He's not wiggling.
In my brain, it is a quite sizable ass.
But it's imaginary. And still, it doesn't matter how big the butt is. He's not wiggling. It's not a wiggle.
So Norman works over Chavo, then does the big wiggle on the horse, which prompts a Chavo comeback because he's having none of that.
How dare you wiggle on my horse?
We get a nice springboard bulldog from Chavo. And then just a lot of back and forth with the horse. Because, like, Chavo puts it away, and then Norman gets it again, and then Chavo gets it back and, like, crotches Norman on the top rope. And
maybe, were they trying to, like, save their match by bringing in a object? Like, trying to make the match more interesting?
We'll have to no, I'm guessing this has been part of his character. Or it's new. I don't know.
Who knows? We'll figure it out.
Chavo hits a back suplex onto Norman, with Norman landing right across like the bar that the horse is on. And I was like, ooh, that
had to have been.
That's just a little. It's a little too sore for the quality of that spot. But in the confusion of the back and forth with the horse, Norman locks in the chicken wing, which they are now not calling the Norman Conquest. They're calling the chicken wing again.
Yeah, he got demoted.
Nothing match. I don't know whether I enjoyed it more or less than the Prince Iaukea matches, but I'm sad to see Chavo saddled with this gimmick, which was not a pun intended, but it worked quite well.
It worked very well. I thought you intended that.
No, just works out that way.
Don't worry, we get Prince Iaukea later, so if you missed him, he's coming.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Next up, we get Raven's Homecoming.
This segment makes no sense to me.
We peeked in a little bit on this, I think, in our own time. I don't think we didn't talk about it on the podcast. But basically, Raven's been all pouty and mopey lately, so his mom came to get him to cheer him up and is like, you need to go see your doctor. And Canyon's trying to be a good friend and helping him out. And so they went back to Raven's home.
In case you missed it, this house is in Florida. Because the mom says it about 17 times in this 2-minute promo.
I actually missed it.
Did you really? Every other sentence was, why are you wearing so many clothes? It's Florida. Well, that's Florida for you. Hey, welcome back to Florida. Like, the more you say it, the less I believe you're in Florida. You said Raven's loaded? Like, rich?
Did you see the house?
I mean, yeah. But...
yeah, it's meant to be...
It was supposed to be a mansion?
Yeah, it's meant to be Raven comes for money.
Okay. I mean, I guess I get that. It wasn't like... a Kardashian mansion.
No,
it wasn't massive.
Raven will be out on, on the back porch looking out at the green light across the bay.
What?
It's great. Read a book. God. Great Gatsby references when they happen on the podcast.
Don't out me like that. I didn't read Great Gatsby. No, that was one of those books in high school that, like, it was, you could read this book or you could read something else. And I opted to read something else. I don't remember what I read. But
make a rare literary reference to one of the most popular books ever made.
Sorry.
Ever written, I guess.
Also, don't out me. Haven't seen the movie.
So yeah, Raven, Canyon, and Raven's mom turn up at the house. Canyon gets out, and Raven's mom gets out at like the same time. And it's really like, oh, thanks for opening the door for me. Like, bitch.
They got out at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Like, it was a bizarre segment.
I do want to see Raven and Canyon having a sleepover.
I feel like Canyon would be really fun.
Raven's mom mentions that his sister is inside, which I forget if she becomes a character or not. She may or may not. I don't know what's up with that.
Not in this segment.
No. What were your thoughts on the interior of the house?
Very 90s suburban.
Yeah.
Like, as a kid, we looked at a lot of houses. Like, my family moved around a lot, so we had to look at a lot of houses for, like, you know, real estate to live in, you know. This looked like every house that I saw in the early 2000s.
The general takeaway is that Raven is still being pouty and like, oh, TV doesn't work.
After just touching the remote and be like, it doesn't work. Like, you didn't even fucking try. Push a button.
Raven's mom is going to make them both sandwiches.
Sammy's. Was it ham and cheese?
I think so.
And a big glass of milk. Honestly, sounds good.
No, he wanted a club soda.
Oh, yeah, with lime. It was weird because his mom seemed to know just the way you like it for literally everything he said. It was
What's his mom?
Okay, but like your mom doesn't know just the way you like literally everything. No. She said that too many times, and she said, oh, we're in Florida too many times. I don't think this is his mother.
So do they actually say they're going to come back to this, or?
I don't know, but it really
because they don't.
It feels like they're going to when they cut away.
Yeah, they cut away, and it's never spoken of again, and they never go back to it.
Nope.
And so I don't know what to make of this.
I don't know either. Was this just like a time filler segment, or it obviously like took some production time to like go to Florida or quote unquote Florida and do something with this, but I don't know.
We'll see what happens with that next week and the week after, because
something tells me nothing.
No, they've been building a little bit. They have to do something with it.
Slow build.
Next up, we get a match that I was a little intrigued by. Right. First match of the night I was intrigued by. We get Fit Finlay versus Booker T.
I'd like to note that this is where I saw Wildcat Willie and almost had a conniption.
So Booker T comes out to his theme, which I think you're starting to get.
It's starting to slap.
It's starting to. I didn't know this could happen.
You know, like when you don't like a song right at the first time you hear it, and then it stays stuck in your head for a while, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, this song's kind of good. That's how I feel with Booker T's theme.
So Booker T goes on the ropes to pose, and then Finlay attacks him from behind. So I guess Finlay's a heel, despite wrestling the NWO last night.
See, and you give me crap for not understanding like who's the face and who's the heel in some of these matches, and like,
whoa,
huh?
You should be confused when it changes, not at the overall idea. Listen,
I just need it all to be as crystal clear as Ernest Miller coming out and being like, shut up, you're ugly. I need that.
I don't know how to tell you this. It's only going to get worse. Vince Russo believes in shades of gray, and he'll be here before you know it.
Okay, well, if it's shades of gray, you can't fault me for not knowing who's the bad guy.
We're not there yet, though. Did you know that these two once main evented a WWE pay-per-view as a team?
Really?
Yes.
What year?
2006.
That's so strange. So they main evented as a tag team, I guess?
Yes. It was these two versus World Champion Batista and WWE Champion John Cena. Nothing was on the line. Just...
Gee, I wonder who won that match. Why? Why would they do that? That's not even a remotely fair fight.
Batista was feuding with King Booker, because Booker T had won King of the Ring.
Oh. I remember not hating his King gimmick when I saw it.
It's interesting. It's definitely not bad. Definitely
better than Baron Corbin.
Oh yeah, it definitely like revitalized Booker T's like overall character, but just the weird accent on it is polarizing.
Oh, does he do like a British accent?
Not well.
Oh no.
But yeah, he was feuding with Batista, and Finlay was part of the King's Court, but they kept teaming up on Batista. So it's like, all right, we're going to have a tag team match at the pay-per-view for some reason. And it's like, you need to find a partner. I pick John Cena, who was on Raw. And I'm like, why? Not really super relevant to this match, seeing as how that's in the future. But just a weird note.
Yeah, that's funny. I just don't see Finlay and Booker T being a team, but sure. Why not?
He was King Booker, and it was the King's Court.
So Finlay was the jester?
No. Yeah, I mean, William Regal was there, I think.
Oh, that would make sense.
Along with, I think, Dave Taylor. Dave Taylor, who looks exactly like you would think. If I said there was a wrestler named Dave Taylor, what does he look like? Exactly what you think.
Okay.
Also, he teams with William Regal, just as a addition. It's like, yeah, it's exactly what you
I'm
think.
picturing create a wrestler.
Usually creative wrestlers have more creativity.
Oh, no.
Anyway.
Match.
Finlay gets a lot more offense than I would have thought he would get.
Yeah, he does. He comes out swinging. Like, he's ready.
Comes out swinging, he comes out grunting.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very grunty match.
Very grunty.
Finlay at one point goes for a chair shot, but the ref stops him.
Because of course he does.
I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess Finlay is now a heel.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like, in those moments, I can tell who's the heel. But, like, right off the bat, if you tell me this is a Finlay Booker T match, I couldn't tell you right off the bat who the heel is.
Well, neither of them were heels coming into the match.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Finlay suddenly decided, I'm a heel now.
I'm bored. I'm a heel.
The crowd is just dead for any of Finlay's offense. He raises his arms twice, try to garner heat, and nothing.
Nothing.
Towards the end of the match, Finlay goes up at the top rope, and shocker, gets countered. I'm like, you're not hitting any. You're not even jumping. You're taking a bump off this. Everyone knows it.
No. Finlay does not fly.
Booker then hits a kind of jumping back kick, and then hits a missile drop kick for the win. Which I'm like, that's your finisher? Okay.
It worked.
Well, yeah, you got the pin.
Well, yeah.
Not a bad match, but it was strangely one-sided for most of it.
Yeah, it
Booker
wasn't
did
bad.
not get a lot of offense before getting the pin. It was like, oh, okay.
It was kind of an unnecessary match. But I don't know. Commentary did also double down during this match of the world title's been around since 1905.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Also, I guess we're not going to get anything with Booker T and his brother for at least another week.
Yeah, I kind of thought Stevie Ray was going to come out and interfere somehow.
Yeah, you would have thought. Nope. The real swerve was there was no swerve.
The real swerve was the friends we made along the way.
After this, we get some more Nitro stills, but the same Nitro stills as earlier. We then get Mean Gene in the ring. He brings out Ric Flair, who was apparently on his way to Ronald Reagan Airport, but then decided to turn around. He comes out with his bags, including I don't know the proper name for it, but it's a bag.
A garment bag.
The garment bag, yeah. That's the garment bag that has a huge Florida Gators logo on it.
Also, can we acknowledge how far of a fucking drive it is from the Baltimore Arena to Reagan Airport? That's a 2-hour drive.
It makes sense that he was at Reagan because Starrcade was in DC.
Starrcade was in DC, yeah, but Reagan to Baltimore is a long fucking drive.
Yeah.
I've made that drive.
So Gene asks Flair where he was going with all of his gear. Flair says he got his ass kicked and doesn't deserve the applause he's getting. And notes that he was about to retire, but then came back to Baltimore.
Yeah, he said he was on the phone with his wife, and his wife was like, just come home. He's like, I don't want to go home. I want to go to Baltimore.
Flair then starts to strip.
Yeah, he just started getting naked. I was like, what is happening?
He strips as he gets fired up and just unpacks all of his shit in the ring, including just chucking his shoes into the crowd. The first one he chucks deep, and the second one he whips sideways, and I'm like, that was not as catchable. You definitely hit someone in the face.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it hit somebody in the head. Those things are weapons.
After chucking his shoes into the crowd, he then takes off his pants and elbow drops the WCW logo.
Yeah, what? But the whole time he's reading out the labels of his clothes and I live like a king because I can. So he's bragging.
Flair then offers to give Bischoff everything he has if Bischoff can beat him again.
Which includes a fucking wad of $100 bills.
Which he ripped up a couple of them.
Yeah, he's pulled it out of his pocket. I'm like, that's $10,000 in your hand, dude, and you're just ripping it up.
I think they said 3,000.
3,000, okay.
Which Bischoff
still
pockets of some of later.
Same, I would have. That's rent.
So Flair challenges to a match, and yeah, if Flair loses, then he gets everything, including things he really shouldn't be offering to give up without consulting his wife.
Yeah.
But if Flair wins, he gets to run WCW for 90 days.
Yeah, why only 90 days?
I guess it's more realistic that Bischoff would agree to it.
Okay, but if Bischoff wins, he gets to take Flair's livelihood?
It's a storyline.
It seems unfair. The stakes seem stacked.
Flair stacked them against himself.
That doesn't make sense.
Which the commentators do note. It's like, I mean, Flair offered this, so okay. Flair then handcuffs himself to the ropes and won't leave until Bischoff comes out.
Which was just a funny image.
Gene then starts to throw a commercial. Like, will Bischoff come out? And Flair says, if you turn the camera off and you come back, I'll be naked. Because at this point, he is just in his boxers and his socks.
Yeah. And so they cut to commercial. They come back. Not naked.
No. This is a famous Flair promo. Because the funny thing is, I knew about this promo. I didn't realize while we were like, until he said it, I'm like, oh, is this the one? Oh, it is. But also back from commercial, we get it. We get our
Mean! Woo! By God, Gene!
Bischoff then comes out, and Gene notes that Flair threw away the key.
Oh, yeah. They're like looking around for the key, and it's just gone.
So it gets a little sloppy here as both of them are talking over each other. But Bischoff laughs at Flair, and Flair is trying to like slap and kick him, but can't reach.
Yeah, that was funny with him just like handcuffed and Bischoff just being a little bitch. Like, ooh, you can't hit me.
Bischoff says it's going to be great taking everything that Flair has. And he says, oh, you're going to die of a heart attack if you don't settle down. Flair then says his wife called Bischoff a Cushman scooter.
What?
I think it has to do with the fact that they like to ride like motorcycles.
But a scooter? I guess it's like a type of motorcycle, I guess. It's a scooter.
So Bischoff agrees and notes that there's no horsemen here tonight. Awkward execution, and then as it kind of ends, and yeah, like once Bischoff got there, it was very, I'm going to talk over you, you talk over me, and just
so
it kind of went a little too long just for Bischoff to say, I accept. So we have our main event of the night, Ric Flair versus Eric Bischoff. Again, if Flair wins, he gets to run WCW for 90 days. If he loses, he's homeless and has no money, and life just kind of sucks for him.
Very high stakes main event.
Yes. Like, it's weighted so badly that it's like, okay, well, Flair is obviously going to win.
Oh, well, yeah. But it's just, I don't know. Could be an interesting match.
We then get an ad for a Nitro Girls calendar. And after that, we get a debut of a new Nitro Girl.
Yes. Storm.
A former Miss Black America.
Which I did not know was a thing, but I did some research on, and it is indeed a thing.
You also found some unsavory things in your research, but we'll
we don't need to talk about that.
We'll leave that for you to Wikipedia article. Funnily enough, since we mentioned it, do you know who Storm ends up becoming?
Does she become a wrestler?
Not necessarily a wrestler, but she ends up becoming
character.
someone's valet.
Oh, no. Who?
Her real name is Charmel, and she goes on to marry and go on to be Queen Charmel with King Booker.
Really?
Booker T's wife.
She marries Booker T.
Yeah.
That was a good tie-in. Wow. I did not notice that.
I did not realize that would have more.
Wow.
I didn't think about that until just now. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that ties in.
That's cool.
Which was nice because she had a little bit to the act, not a terrible, like she was not bad by any stretch,
Okay.
but it was just like you get to work with your wife each week.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Especially in an industry like this where in all these documentaries we're watching, it's like, yeah, I'm on the road 363 days a year. I don't get to see my family. I'm like, oh, but now you get to work with your wife. It's nice.
And they're still married.
Wow, that's even more impressive, honestly. A wrestling marriage that has stayed together. Amazing.
They actually didn't get married until 2005. After the debut of Storm, we get Barry Windham versus Prince Iakea.
I really had to think about who Barry Windham was.
He does kind of get the previously mentioned jobber entrance where you're not even in the ring and your opponent's his place, which happened with Prince Iakea both times. I thought was weird.
Yeah, but this is the designated talk through this match on commentary match.
We have to talk about the Flair match upcoming.
Of course.
Thoughts on Windham wrestling in a vest?
I didn't even notice. I was paying such little attention to this. I did note that there was a bite, but like at this point I'm not even calling that a DQ. Like They don't care about bites.
Yeah, these guys have very little chemistry.
Yeah, there's nothing to this match.
Wyndham hits a DDT at one point and tries a one-handed pin, but Ikea kicks out. We then get Wyndham biting Ikea's face. Mm-hmm. And the finish is Wyndham hitting a crisscross bulldog and then gets the win.
Like, I saw the pin happen and I had to, like, blink. I'm like, did anything else happen in that match?
Not really.
No.
It was basically a squash match, but Ikea got some offense in.
Yeah.
Not really much to say there. I mean,
really not.
They're kind of spinning their wheels with Barry Windham, and I don't think they're doing anything with Ikea at this point.
No, they have no idea what to do with IK. I think they're just kind of let him fade out.
We then get Mean Gene interviewing a security guard and former SWAT team or current or former SWAT team member. It doesn't really matter.
No, he did something with police at some point. Who knows?
But this segment is about the cattle prod from Starrcade. This whole segment exists just be like, yeah, this will fuck somebody up. So It makes sense that Goldberg lost.
Yeah.
I did get a kick out of Gene asking him, oh, let's see it. And he like turns it on for a second and Gene's like, that's enough.
Just enough for it to crackle into the microphone. I'm like, whoa, no. Not for me, thank you.
Yeah. Real quick segment. It's literally just, you would have lost too if you got hit with this.
They do insinuate that Kevin Nash might not be deserving of the WCW championship.
We then get a WCW NWO revenge for the N64 commercial.
Yeah, I saw you taking notes for this. So I was like, I didn't think anything of this, but
well, a lot of the music we've used for the intro to this show has been from that.
Yeah, okay.
And I just wanted to note, did you see who was on the cover?
No.
There are 4 people on the cover.
Can I guess?
Sure.
Goldberg?
Yes.
Kevin Nash?
Yes.
Hogan?
Yes.
One more. Ooh.
You will never get it.
Tell me.
Raven.
Why?
Because one of the main guys who worked on the game liked Raven. So they put him on the cover. Yeah, it was just, he liked Raven, so all right, I want to put Raven on the cover.
Oh, can we talk about the missed opportunity that is having Raven in Baltimore?
True.
Come on. Oh, well.
After that, we get Gene now in the ring, and he brings out DDP. DDP goes through the crowd on his way to the ring and notes that he feels like he's been to hell and back. He says he won at Starrcade because he has more heart and was just waiting for the Giant to make one mistake.
Giant didn't want it more than him.
He also says he's not there to talk about his match. He's there to talk about the 2 main event matches from Starrcade. He mentions that, Nash maybe shouldn't be the champion. There's some screwiness there. I think he uses the phrase black cloud.
Yeah, he says there was a black cloud over some matches at Starrcade.
And then he notes that he'd love to work for Flair, and Bischoff will feel the bang. Oh, you didn't finish it for me.
I had the word power on my lips, and I was like, that's not right.
That's the segment? I kind of expected him to mention Bret Hart or anything. It was just like
Why would he? I mean, Bret Hart wasn't there.
Yeah, but Bret Hart has his U.S. title.
Yeah, I don't know. It was pretty simplistic, I guess. The black cloud thing, the commentary really holds on to that, though, that phrase.
This promo kind of emphasizes or kind of illustrates a certain point better than anything else of like, oh, here's where it makes sense to build toward your pay-per-view in 3 weeks.
Yeah, we noted that. There are 3 episodes in between now and...
including this one.
Including this one, and the next one's called Sold Out?
Yes.
Not a single mention of that in this.
No.
Like, we had a few realizations after we finished this episode, and that was one of them.
Yeah, like, I thought they mentioned it at one point, like on commentary, but it was like, nope, call for the replay of Starrcade. I'm like, oh, well, never mind.
They are horrible at promoting their pay-per-views.
It's kind of because they're just trying to win the Monday Night Ratings war each week.
So why is that more important than the pay-per-views?
Because Bischoff thinks it is.
Okay, so it's not like proven. It's like a monetary
literally
thing.
Prior to 95, no one really cared that much about ratings. It wasn't a huge thing. It's that Bischoff decided that this was his measuring tool for whether or not he was beating WWE. And so that it became important.
Well, in 1998, that's also when TV was getting more accessible and, cable wasn't the only option anymore. Like, that was when things were starting to pick up in the TV world. So ratings meant a lot more. In 95, it was less likely to have any kind of competition because there wasn't TV. Not everybody had a TV. 98, everyone had a fucking TV.
Yeah, the thing nowadays seems to be various demographics. It's like, oh, who won this demographic?
Yeah.
At a certain point, ego becomes a factor, and you can't put a number on that.
You're absolutely right. And it's Eric Bischoff, so his ego is through the roof.
Tony then throws to backstage where we get Conan confronting Disco Inferno, and then the rest of the Wolfpack appears. Disco says that he took a grenade for Nash, but Nash is pissed for clouding the result. Nash then says they'll get him a match for him to prove himself. Short version, they're pissed at Disco. Disco did not do that upon their request.
So, like, I'm kind of on both sides of this argument. Like, if I was Kevin Nash, I might be a little annoyed. But if I was Disco, I'd be like, no, I deserve to be part of you guys. Like, look, I fought for you. I'm on your side. I'm on your team. Love me. I get both sides of it.
We then get more Nitro stills from the Triangle match, which is where we saw a still of Billy Kidman attempting a shooting star press on Eddie and how the bodies don't line up, and I just got nervous all over again, even though it was one I'd already seen.
Yeah, it was that still you were trying to explain to me, like, this is why I get nervous.
Yeah, because his body just isn't aligned to hit the move properly, really upon leaving the rope.
Yeah.
Like, that's the issue. It's not him in midair, it's his takeoff. But we now get the match that you predicted would have been the Starrcade match.
Yeah.
And we get Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman versus Eddie Guerrero and Juventud Guerrera, which I will be calling them Eddie and Hoovy because I do not want to do the Guerrero versus Guerrera battle.
Eddie and Hoovy versus Kidman and Mysterio.
And the LWO have their bodyguard with them as well.
Yes.
And Rey also comes out again to the end of, Eddie's entrance music. Like, they don't reset it, it just comes out again. Even though at Starrcade, he had his hip-hop theme. Mm-hmm. It's just weird back and forth. He comes out also with a LWO shirt in hand and, like, drops on the ground.
Yeah, he doesn't do the whole pomp and circumstance of, like, stepping on it, but he's also not wearing it, so it's confusing. Like, at this point, you're done with LWO. Stop pretending like you're defying them, You're not in it anymore.
I think he still is.
How?
I don't know. It's real muddy there. We also get our next installment of
Who's that Pokemon?
Okay, so I have one that I'm not confident in.
All right, let's hear it. I think I only have like one acceptable answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, now I'm very nervous.
What do you got?
It's Sharkito.
Ooh, you're so close.
Oh, really?
It's the pre-evolved version of that. So Rey's outfit is blue and red with some yellow highlights. Sharpedo has almost no red.
He had like some burnt orange on him. I was like, maybe.
The pre-evolved form, Carvana.
Carvana.
It's going to be Piranha, so.
Sell your car. Okay, yeah.
The correct answer is Carvana.
I was so close.
Podcast not sponsored by Carvana.
Unless you want to buy me a car.
I thought about counting Vileplume, but
no, Vileplume.
It's more of a purple body than yeah. Not a lot of blue, red, and yellow.
This one was
Pokemon.
hard. Yeah. You yelled at me because while we were watching it, I was scrolling through all the Pokemon to see which one matched, and you're like, watch the match.
In the match, apparently Eddie is still pissed at Hoovy.
But like Hoovy has such a look at me, Dad, love me, Dad.
Oh yeah, that is his big energy on this.
Ugh, it's so annoying.
Eddie and Rey work extremely quick to start. Eddie tags out, and when Hoovy wants to tag Eddie back in, Eddie's like, "No, go wrestle, go prove yourself."
Yeah.
Rey hits a Bronco Buster on Hoovy, and then Eddie just lays across the top rope like not a care in the world.
Yeah, get beat up. I'm not gonna save you.
Rey hits a springboard dropkick to Hoovy, who then stumbles across the ring and like clotheslines Eddie and himself over the top rope. And that's not how momentum works.
No.
Rey and Kidman then hit stereo dives to the outside. I need to go back and play some more wrestling games so I learn what certain moves or like how their technical names are.
We've talked about playing the WWE 2K19.
Yes, but 2K19, unfortunately, we can't be on the same team without you bringing over your entire PlayStation Network account. Remember?
Oh yeah.
There's a weird issue in the game where I think it's just the PlayStation one where it sucks. At least it's better than 2K20.
Yeah.
or Battleground, which is just basically a ported mobile game.
Yeah, it is.
Back from commercial, we get a double hot tag to Ray and Eddie, and like this match went a lot longer than I thought it was going to go. There were a lot of points where I'm like, okay, you're like,
but like I'm not mad about it. I enjoyed the match.
After the hot tag, Ray hits a move on Hoovy and tries to pin him. The ref counts. Hoovy kicks out at 2. Then the ref tells Hoovy to get out of the ring because he's not the legal man. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
why'd you count the pin then? Legal man syndrome is a big issue in this match. People just coming in.
Yeah, I could not keep track of who was legal.
At one point, Eddie puts Ray on his shoulders, then Hoovy hits his springboard crossbody onto Ray.
Yeah.
Nice little spot.
That was cool.
We get Eddie doing a gory special into a spinning neck breaker.
I noted that would be a really fun move to take at, like, Sky Zone's foam pit. Like, if you threw me into the pit of, like, the square things that you, like, jump into, hell yeah, that'd be fun. I'd take it.
It's more of a neck breaker, though. And with the spin, that's hard to...
Throw me.
See, I think at a certain point, I just hit the outsider's edge. Just, high up and then just... Yeet.
Yeah, but that's not fun. That's more practical, but that's not fun.
Right around this point, something happens in the crowd.
Yeah.
We could not really figure out what it was. But the wrestlers just stall as the crowd is like, hey! It's like, what the fuck is happening?
We couldn't really tell. Like, nobody was coming down the ramp. Like,
once the action picks back up, Ray reverses an Irish whip and throws Eddie into Hoovy's boot, but Ray can't make it back to the corner in time. Kidman gets the hot tag after blocking the corner from Ray getting whipped into it, which I think you liked.
Yeah, it looked cool.
I don't understand the physics of that, though. Like, I'm going to jump over the turnbuckle pad so you crash into my ribs as opposed to the padded turnbuckle.
I don't know.
I've never understood that. That spot kind of stops happening for the most part.
Yeah, which is probably okay, but still fun. I'm here for a good time. Not a long time.
Kidman counters a powerbomb from Eddie into a facebuster.
Hey!
And then Ray hits a springboard leg drop. Doesn't get the pin, though. Then Kidman hits an assisted powerbomb with Ray springboarding onto Eddie, driving him onto the mat.
Mm.
Kidman goes up to the top rope, but Ray gets vaulted into Kidman, knocking him off. Ray then gets tossed to the outside, and Hoovy dives onto him. While that's happening, the bodyguard tosses Kidman back into the ring, and Eddie hits a frog splash.
Yeah.
Gets the pin.
It was a very clean frog splash.
It was.
It looked nice.
Putting Billy Kidman to shame.
It's very clean, man.
LWO win it, which feels kind of rare. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, they don't win. But it's still not enough for Eddie to love Hoovy.
No.
No.
Good match.
Yeah, it was
blows
fun.
anything that's already happened out of the water, but...
Yeah, it was definitely a fun match.
Among the better we've seen the podcast, but I do think I liked the triple threat, or the triangle match, more from the other night.
Yeah. Hard to say. Because I do like these four together.
The legal man syndrome was just a lot of people just coming in, and now it's this, and...
That could have definitely been cleaned up, but... I don't know. I think I might have liked this better than the triangle match.
Oh.
I think so.
You get that match tonight.
I did.
So is this your favorite match we watched in the podcast, then?
You know, I don't know. It's definitely up there. I can always tell when I don't... When I really enjoy a match because I have the fewest notes from it because I'm just watching it.
Good match. We can both agree there. Let's move on. We had a recap of the Flair segment earlier, followed by new WCW champion Kevin Nash coming out with the rest of the Wolfpack, which is literally just Luger and Conan.
Yeah. This is the point where I realized, oh, that wasn't Lex Luger in the limo at the beginning.
No, it was it was Hennig who helped him win the night before.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that, honestly.
Bobby Heenan is now on commentary. And Conan did not get the internal memo because he comes out in like a brown tracksuit.
Yeah, he's not wearing his Wolfpack
no
stuff.
Wolfpack anything. I'm like not even wearing black or red, just like a brown. I think a brown tracksuit and like a blue hat.
Yeah, it wasn't the best look.
Even funnier, he has a match later.
He does.
Mixed reaction for Nash, I noted.
I didn't notice it.
Yeah,
I thought everybody was obsessed with Nash. I thought I was the only one that absolutely hated him.
I mean, people are pissed that he beat Goldberg.
Fair.
So he says wrestling is about three things: money, power, and respect. He says he's going to try to right the wrongs from Starrcade. So apparently Disco Inferno versus Bam Bam Bigelow is booked. And if Disco wins, he's in the Wolfpack. And if he loses, he's like, leave us alone.
Something like that. Yeah, it's like, you gotta leave us alone, man. Go away.
On the topic of Scott Hall, he loves him more than anybody, but Hall does have to answer to people other than Scott Hall.
Yeah, I mean, he says, he's like, I love him, but what he did last night was wrong. Like, good. At least you're holding him accountable.
He demands that next week it be Nash versus Goldberg in Atlanta for the belt.
Which is a big deal, because that's where Goldberg is from, right?
Yes, it's also where he won the belt.
And isn't Atlanta the WCW headquarters?
Yes.
Big match.
I did note that he literally didn't mention the streak.
No.
Because,
why are they just ignoring that now?
Because Kevin Nash doesn't think the streak's a big deal.
I hate this man.
He thinks if he mentions he broke the streak, he's a mark for himself.
But he's trying to be a face, isn't he?
At this point, kind of a tweener.
Okay, well, if he's a tweener, he can kind of ride the heel of like, ha ha, I beat you, fuck off.
Or like, it's still an accomplishment.
It is an accomplishment. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, don't just ignore it. That makes you look like an asshole if you just ignore it.
Also, not appearing tonight, Goldberg.
Yeah.
Which...
I'm not surprised, honestly.
No, I'm just disappointed. So, after that, we get Disco Inferno versus Bam Bam Bigelow. Which goes about how you'd expect.
Yeah.
I did laugh at, during Disco's music, there is a wolf howl towards the beginning.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
Because he comes out in Wolfpack gear.
He does, yeah. He's really, he wants to be in the Wolfpack, man.
And
Ow.
Bam Bam still has no music.
I hate when they walk out to no music. I thought this was about Scott Hall, too. I'm like, it's just awkward, and I don't like it.
I think it's even more awkward because two people are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They're also being weird about, is Bam Bam in the company or not? Because you said he wasn't. I'm like, he totally is. Like, he showed up on his own, and they were like saying, like, you're not under contract, but I guess because Goldberg wants it, we'll like make an exception this like one time for this match. And now it's just, oh, you're going to face Disco. So I'm like, are you with the company or no?
I don't even think they know.
He is
so.
shoot with the company.
Is okay. Well, you would never know. Like, I need something. At least give me like the WCW theme music when he comes out. Like SmackDown does that sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
That's usually more for the brand as a whole, but yeah, that also
Still
would be
something.
Yeah, that'd be a suitable thing. Just play the Nitro theme. Bam Bam just works over Disco for almost all this match.
Yeah.
He does go for a diving headbutt, but Disco moves and starts a little bit of a comeback, including a stunner. Mm-hmm. Disco tries for a clothesline, but has no effect, and then Bigelow just clotheslines him back and knocks him right on his ass.
Bam Bam Bigelow is just a scary man.
Bigelow then hits a sit-out tombstone pile driver and gets the win. Match went as you'd expect.
Boring.
Yeah, I mean, the stipulation of him getting in the Wolfpack didn't really seem to play anything into this. Except for, I guess, why the match happened, but they had played no story in the match.
Yeah, and he lost, so he doesn't get in, so...
Yeah. We then get the Nitro Girls again.
They have had so many costume changes, and they're not even done.
We go backstage to Kurt Hennig helping Bischoff train. But then we go back to commentary.
Yeah.
Commentary sets up hearing from Flair's doctor. Flair's doctor, who I was trying to figure out, I'm like, is he an actual doctor? Because his stage presence is fine. He's not a deer in the headlights, but, you know, he looked...
I don't know enough about medical jargon to know if what he was saying was actual medical.
I assume, that's the thing, it was technical enough to where I'm like, this sounds like you're a doctor.
I don't know.
He played a doctor very well if he wasn't. I'm not a doctor, I just play one on TV. So, the doctor runs through Flair's symptoms from that night. And after further studies, Ric Flair did not have a heart attack. Apparently, he was poisoned.
Which got me. I was like, what?
The doctor notes he prescribed chloroform, which I thought might come up later. It did not.
I did note that too. I'm like, is that something used to cure poisoning? Chloroform?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
But my favorite thing of this was Eric Bischoff's reaction.
Yes, because commentary just speculate and don't say anything.
Yeah.
Gene then goes backstage to ask Bischoff, like, hey, what's your reaction? He didn't have a heart attack. He was apparently poisoned. And Bischoff gets immediately defensive. Gene doesn't actually accuse him, even remotely accuse him of anything. And Bischoff's like, you can't prove I did anything.
I didn't do anything. You can't prove it. I didn't do anything. But then he has the line, he's not even a human doctor. He's from Charlotte.
He's a pig doctor. I'll sue him.
Dr. Damn Doolittle.
Well, I also don't understand what's Bischoff going to sue him about? What's the lawsuit here?
Defamation of character?
He didn't say Bischoff poisoned him.
That's true.
He just said he was poisoned. And even then, he says the medical jargon for it.
Yeah, I don't know.
The doctors are like, yeah,
falsifying medical results?
Yeah, but it's not his medical results.
I don't know. I'm
Bischoff
picking out of the bottom of the barrel here.
I would say he doesn't even have a leg to stand on. He doesn't have a body to even have the leg to stand on. The short version is Bischoff now has to face a healthy Ric Flair, which, didn't he technically do that last night then?
Last night you could argue that he was recovering from the poisoning.
The poisoning was like 2 weeks before last night.
That's true.
And it's 24 hours difference.
Yeah, never mind.
Anyway.
I'm trying to go off of kayfabe. I don't know.
Moving on, we get Scott Steiner coming out with Buff Bagwell and the ref versus Conan, who comes out with nobody.
Yeah, where's the Wolfpack?
This is apparently a TV title match, which
They do say it in commentary before the match.
Yeah, I missed that. Steiner does his shtick before Conan comes out, and I wrote in all caps, "Bring Luger out, you idiot!" Like, listen, Nash is a dickhead. He's not going to come out for your fucking TV title match, but bring Luger. Luger's had your back.
Yeah, but they both just cut their super
Conan
generic promos. Like,
Buff then grabs a mic and says something about Baltimore isn't bowdy or whatever, but Baltimore sucks.
Boo.
And starts to cut a promo, and when he's starting to talk, Conan just hits a facebuster on the ref.
Yeah. Oh, on the NWO ref, yeah.
Yeah. And then he brings out a WCW one.
Yes, as it should be.
Steiner and Buff then go to attack the WCW ref, but Conan stops him. And this match is on. Steiner hits a butterfly suplex, then tosses Conan to the outside. Steiner distracts the ref, and Buff works over Conan on the outside. Steiner just works over Conan for ages, and Buff interferes when the ref's back is turned. And also immediately, anytime the ref turns around, he does the hands up like, I didn't touch him.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that's not even more suspicious.
Now, I didn't think that you touched him before, but now I do.
Steiner hits a spinning belly to belly and then does some push-ups.
Steiner is just so obsessed with himself.
Almost every move in this match Steiner does is followed by a, ha!
But Buff Bagwell is in love with Scott Steiner and try to convince me otherwise, because that man just keeps commenting on the size of Scott Steiner, of look how big his arms are, look how big Scott is in general. Like, you love him.
So Conan suddenly starts his comeback and hits a facebuster, which is probably his fourth offensive move of the entire match. He then locks in the Tequila Sunrise. The ref is on all fours, just staring at Scott Steiner's face, as opposed to looking at anything in the hold.
No.
So Buff tries to pull Scott's leg to the ropes. Luger then runs down and then tries to pull Buff off of Scott, which inadvertently helps Scott get to the ropes and get out of the hold. To which commentary is was that intentional? They're immediately oh,
I missed that.
Yeah, they are speculating that Luger just fucked over Conan intentionally. Huh. There's also some real awkward action of all four men on the outside just kind of roaming around, and then Steiner and Conan
really
get back in the ring.
Yeah.
Steiner puts in the Steiner recliner and gets the win.
Yeah. So now Scott Steiner is the television champion.
Yes. Yeah. New television champion.
It was just a weird match.
But part of what commentary was also talking about is, oh my God, Luger didn't even get in the ring to help Conan. It's
if he got into the ring, wouldn't that have been a disqualification?
I mean, it should have been, but yeah, it's not Buff didn't get. I don't think Buff got in the ring.
Not once the bell rang. No,
the end was real sloppy, so it was just kind of hard to tell. But oh my God, he didn't get in the ring to help Conan. It's he can't.
That's kind of the whole rule.
So, yeah, weird dissension teasing.
They did cut it close at the beginning with Buff being in the ring, and like he threw a punch right before, like milliseconds before the bell rang.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, that was close. That could have been interference. That was close. But then he got out and it was fine.
There's a bit of leniency.
Yeah.
Which we'll experience some big leniency later. But next up, we get the Nitro Girls again. Jeez, how many fucking Nitro Girls
segments? There were so many
five
Nitro
of them,
Girls.
it feels like.
And every time they had a different costume. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, girl.
Can't wear the same outfit twice.
You guys got to go back, get changed, redo your makeup, and learn a new dance all in 10 minutes.
They're women in the 90s. You can't rewear an outfit twice.
Hey, women in the 2020s believe that too. Can't wear it. If you are... The rule is that if you wear a dress or you wear an outfit and you get, like, photographed in it, like, excessively, like you do a photo shoot or something with your friends, you can't wear that outfit again.
Of course not.
I have a couple outfits like that.
Oh, man. This next match is rough.
I don't want to do it. I didn't want to watch it.
We get Scott Hall versus Bryan Adams with Vincent.
I think I was, like, hoping that you'd be like, we can skip this one.
You remember how I was saying Scott Hall's a face?
Yeah.
He's not anymore because he screwed over Goldberg.
Yes.
So now we're doing heel Scott Hall versus heel NWO.
I don't know.
You know what you could have done? Have Booker T face Bryan Adams. Have Scott Hall face Finlay.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been an interesting match.
Or flip it. Have a big match. Have Scott Hall face Booker T.
Yeah, that would have been a good match.
Remember how they had issues a few weeks ago and then you guys just dropped it?
That's what they do.
But
I still have a hard time identifying Bryan Adams, though. Even as he was coming down.
I think you've only seen him limited amount of time.
He just looks like a generic man.
I think the first time you saw him was when Steiner took over the NWO. And even then, he didn't say a word. We then saw him. He was the one holding Ric Flair.
Okay.
During that segment. And then he had a match at Starrcade. That's kind of all we've seen him, I'm pretty sure.
All right. He had a match at Starrcade. Wow.
Scott Hall comes out in a Goldberg shirt, which you know a lot of people with that tattoo.
Yeah,
apparently.
I did not know that design was a Goldberg merch design. Every boy that I went to middle school with had that shirt.
Oh, had that shirt. I think people you knew had that tattoo.
No. They wore that shirt that Scott Hall was wearing. Like, I have seen that design on T-shirts.
That's kind of weird considering this is 98.
I know I saw this design on T-shirts. Maybe it was like my sister's friends, but I know I saw this design on T-shirts.
Yeah, it is a tattoo that he has on his shoulder.
It's a very understated design.
Yeah.
Like, you would not look at that and be like, oh, you're a wrestling fan. Like the button-up shirt that I got you that you got called out for at Giant.
Yeah, so it's just nothing but WrestleMania logos.
I think it looks cool.
The guy was like, is that a WrestleMania shirt? I'm like, yeah,
Fuck
go
yes.
fuck out for me.
You're welcome.
Hall also gets the kind of jobber entrance because before he's in the ring, we get the NWO music. Mm-hmm. And once Adams is like right by the ring, Hall decides to cut a promo. He says, Kevin Nash was right. There are 3 important things in wrestling. Money, money, and money. He's apparently upset he didn't get invited to the victory party last night.
Okay, yeah, I can understand why he would think that he should be invited, but he also... No, you're not invited. You fucked it up.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, you have a drinking problem. You should not be going out to parties.
Oh, well, that too. But there's a pandemic.
But Hall also says that Nash apparently isn't the guy he used to know. So yeah, as previously mentioned, this is heel versus heel. So the crowd doesn't care. Mm-hmm. And it's another one of these where Bryan Adams is like on offense the entire match.
He does get Scott Hall on a bear hug, though. Which, you know how much I love the bear hugs. He
also hits a incredibly quick pile driver, which I'm like, no, you do not fucking speed through that move.
Fair, yeah.
You take 3 minutes to that move, okay? I'm not going to complain. you don't just like, oh, snap pile driver. Like, no.
It did look like it hurt, though. Like, that just looked like a sore move.
Yeah. I honestly, I zoned out about 4 times during this match.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's nothing happening. It's just Bryan Adams working him over.
Bryan Adams did like a Viper neck hold on Scott Hall, though, which was kind of cool. Like a submission, sort of like grab your neck.
You thought that was cool?
I don't know. I liked it better than bear hug.
Now, did he put... This is important. Did Bryan Adams then put his other hand on his wrist?
I think so.
Oh, it went Magna. Because for some reason, holding your wrist while you pinch somebody's, like, neck means you squeeze harder.
Sure.
That's apparently how that works.
Sure.
Hall goes for the outsider's edge, kind of out of nowhere, but can't get Adams up. And even commentator's like, yeah, he didn't really work him over enough to hit that move. Adams then gorilla press slams Hall. He then goes to the top rope to taunt. Hall gets up and turns the taunt into the outsider's edge so he doesn't have to, like, rotate him up. Mm-hmm. And then gets the pin.
Yeah.
It's still weird to have no music after a pin. Especially when the crowd's flat. It just highlights it even more.
It was just quiet. It was obvious how much the audience did not care about this.
They do seem into our next match, which is the main event. It's Michael Buffer time.
We made it. We're finally here.
Once again, main event is Ric Flair versus Eric Bischoff. If Rick wins, he runs WCW for 90 days. If he loses, he retires and Bischoff gets, like, all of his worldly possessions.
Yeah.
Which, again, the stipulation's so over the top that...
Obviously, Flair's going to win.
Flair comes out looking sparkly and having a big Band-Aid on his forehead. Yeah. We were going to do Time to Blade, but he didn't.
Yeah, we, like, made our times. We were ready. But, like, I want one of these Ric Flair jackets. I have said this before. I say it again. I want one of these jackets. I don't want a Charlotte Flair jacket. I want a Ric Flair jacket.
So Bischoff's music plays, and Buffer goes to introduce him, like, 3 times. And Bischoff's not coming out. He then walks, the exit is only in certain places, but he, like, walks behind the stage of all places to be like, no, I'm not doing it. No.
At first, I thought they were giving him the Goldberg treatment. I thought they were going to, like, follow him out of the dressing room and, like, come down the hallway with him into the ring. But then he, like, walks past an exit sign. I was like, nope, not doing it. Nope, can't make me get in that ring. Not doing it.
He then goes to get into his limo to leave, but we get jump scare Mongo. The 4 horsemen are inside his limo. That
got me so good, too. I was like, it's the 4 horsemen!
They drag him out and carry him to the ring. Mm-hmm. And we actually meant to do this last episode, but I forgot. So we're going to do it now. We're going to play a game called Were They Ever a Horseman? I'm going to run through some wrestlers, and you have to tell me whether or not they were or were not ever part of any iteration of the 4 horsemen.
All right. I have not been studying. I am not ready for this.
There are 12 in total. Let's see how many you get.
Okay.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yes.
No.
Really? Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm not doing good off the bat.
Brian Pillman.
Yes.
Correct.
Haha.
Brian Pillman left the Horsemen upon being requested to be fired by Eric Bischoff because it would make the angle more real. Because they were doing I quit kind of thing.
Oh, so they, like, fired him?
He asked to be fired by Bischoff and then just went to ECW. I was like, no, I'm
great.
Gone, bye.
That's great. All right. Next guy.
Jeff Jarrett.
Gut says yes.
Yes.
Haha.
Eddie Guerrero.
No.
Correct. William Regal.
Yes.
No.
Ah.
Lex Luger.
No.
Yes.
Damn, I'm not doing good.
Sid Vicious.
Yes.
Yes. Sting.
Yes.
Yes. Rick Rude.
No.
Correct. Roddy Piper.
Yes.
No.
Damn it.
Stunning Steve Austin.
No.
No. And finally, Kurt Hennig.
Yes.
Yes.
I did better than I thought.
Yeah, you got 8. Right.
Hey.
I forgot to count.
I saw your hand. I thought you were counting.
I was counting how many I had done. Oh, you got it.
Oh my god.
Well done.
Thank you.
So we come back from commercial, and the Horsemen are still bringing Bischoff to the ring.
It's a long walk.
It's not. We saw how short a walk it was. We get a low blow from Flair, which I noted, we didn't really have too many DQ moments during this.
No, not really. We had the bite earlier, but I was like, why are we even calling this a DQ at this point?
Yeah, I mean, you get a warning sometimes for stuff like that. We then get a second low blow. On commentary, I dig it Flair doesn't care about disqualification. Neither does referee Charles Robinson. Okay.
I literally, wrote down, I'm like, is this a no DQ match? Because they're talking about it. I guess it's no DQ. They didn't really say the rules.
It has to be a DQ match because the commentators are talking about Flair might get disqualified.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're saying that the ref has decided, I'm going to let it go.
Establish the rules.
We then get the NWO running down.
Mm-hmm. This is when the chaos begins.
Yeah, honestly, the actual in-ring action in this match is almost identical to the stuff from
Starrcade. I was not paying attention to the in-ring stuff. The out-ring stuff was just so chaotic and amazing.
Yeah, because some of the NWO run down, but the Horsemen are there to stop them. Mm-hmm. Flair hits some stiff-sounding elbow drops.
Yeah.
Then more NWO come out, and the Horsemen stop them as well. Mm-hmm. While they're all fighting, the Giant just walks past all of them.
Just plows through.
No, see, plows through implies he got physical people. He just, walks around them.
Okay, he, Moses parting the Red Sea walked through. It just kind of a path appeared.
Even then, I feel like you're giving it too much credence. It was like he saw a puddle, walk around that. He gets in the ring and headbutts Ric Flair, to which I am calling this our biggest bad call of the night. Because blatant outside interference.
Yeah, that should have been
Especially if the ref is kind of in your pocket, like they're implying.
Yeah.
And guess what? If Rick wins by DQ, he wins.
Yeah, so he still gets his 90 days.
We then get Macho Man Randy Savage.
I was so in shock by that. Because, I saw the woman walking down, and I was so focused on...
I believe...
Who's the woman?
I believe her name is Gorgeous George.
So, I was so focused on looking at this woman, I wasn't looking at who she was attached to. Yeah. And you were like, oh my god, it's Randy Savage. What the fuck?
Macho Man Randy Savage in NWO black and white gear, which is important because he was part of the Wolfpack when he got beat down and left for a while.
Yes.
Because he was injured.
Yes. So this is his main return.
Yes. However, he won't actually be back for a while. Okay. This is a one-off kind of night return. Additionally, at some point, Arn and DDP have come down to help as well.
Yeah, but they don't really look like they're helping. They're just kind of hanging out.
Randy calls for the Giant to choke slam Ric Flair and then low blows the Giant and actually misses the first opportunity to do so. So he has to awkwardly kind of wait for the Giant's positioning to open up again. Yeah. But he hits a low blow.
Again, what are the rules?
The Giant's not in the match.
But still, he's in the ring. He shouldn't be there in the first place.
No, but are you saying someone's going to get disqualified for low blowing outside interference?
I don't know what the rules are.
Rick then suplexes Bischoff and slaps on the figure 4. Bischoff gives up and Rick wins. Although we then, during the celebration, we do get Rick then pinning Bischoff and the referee counting that as well. And calling for the bell again during the celebration.
Oh my god. It was so chaotic. I loved it. But
Ric Flair does not retire. He is now running WCW for 90 days. Yeah. And Tony Schiavone's like, I'm going to go celebrate with him. Yeah. So the group of people who are celebrating this moment are the 4 Horsemen, Rick, DDP, Tony Schiavone, Larry Zbyszko, Dusty Rhodes comes down, Conan suddenly there, and Booker T. Booker T in a suit.
Yes. So does Macho Man, he doesn't hang out to celebrate?
I don't think so. Okay. I think he leaves after low blowing the Giant.
Yeah, this was just fun.
It was a very fun, chaotic ending. It was chaotic as it should have been, and I think it also worked because the chaos was consistent and not terribly overbooked. Right.
This was a good amount of chaos. Yeah. There have been other times where I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Yeah. But this one, I was
and it's logical that the NWO is going to try to interfere in the match. Yeah. And the Horsemen are there we're going to stop this.
It all made sense.
And people who have been fighting against the NWO come down to we can get Bischoff out of power for a while? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. The only kind of weird swerve is that Macho Man comes down in the black and white as opposed to black and red.
That was it. But it was still...
And then he stays consistent with being against the NWO. So, once again, the Giant's kind of an idiot.
Yes. But his days with WCW are numbered at this point, so.
Numbered is an overstatement. And that's our first full episode of WCW Monday Nitro.
Woohoo!
What'd you think?
Better than I anticipated.
Better than anticipated. Talking about it, there are a lot of those
A lot
nothing.
of low points, yeah.
Yeah, but...
It didn't feel like it watching it, though.
No, I think everything went by pretty quick.
It did, yeah. Nothing lingered for too long.
Yeah, a lot of these were definitely in shorter increments, which is nice. I guess this brings us to for the full episodes. We're gonna do. I'm thinking best bits.
Best bits. That's a good name for it.
Yeah, that way because our podcast has the acronym BITS. So, what was your best bit of the night?
Ooh, okay, I like that.
So, best bit is match or segment. It's not going to narrow it down.
Okay. Because I did one for each.
You got to pick one.
Come on. Okay, I'll give it to the tag team.
Okay. I went with the main event. It's that nice feel-good ending
Yeah.
that Starrcade didn't give you.
Especially because this is the last match of 1998.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to cap it all out.
Yeah, the feel-good ending just really puts a nice cap on this. Which I'm also wondering, is that why this episode felt so easy to get through? Because it actually had an ending.
Maybe.
And it wasn't like, oh god, we're running out of time. Oh, we're out of time. Bye.
That makes sense, actually. Yeah.
So I've pondered how much of it is the fact that, oh my god, there's some closure to something.
I mean, it is rare that we get closure, so yeah, maybe.
I think it was satisfying, and it gives an interesting hook going forward.
Slimy yet satisfying.
Who's your MVP of the show?
I gave it to Ric Flair.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Or his cardiologist. Just dropping that bomb.
I can't give MVP, but honorable mention for the doctor for sounding like a doctor.
There you go.
I was thoroughly confused by what he was saying, so...
So he must have been a doctor.
But yeah, the Flair promo earlier is literally the stuff of legend.
Amazing.
I'm going to be naked. You turn this camera off, I'll be naked when you get back.
So yeah, that was no question.
I wonder if the person who caught the shoes still has them.
I hope so.
And that's it for this episode. Next up, we have our jam-packed, which is probably going to be like 3 hours long.
Oh, God.
We have our super episode of January 4th, Monday Nitro, and January 4th, Monday Night Raw.
I'm excited. I'm very excited for this because I've never watched a full episode of Raw. Ever. Like, I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. So until next time, you can follow us on Twitter at ButtsInThePod. And subscribe, follow, whatever us on... Follow? I never know the terminology. Follow us on Spotify, where you're currently listening to us.
Yeah.
Any other closing thoughts?
Not that I can think of.
We're going to be in 1999.
Woohoo! I'll be 5 years old, right?
We're going to party like it's 19... Oh, there's the ending music.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I never know what to put for our... for our intro or exit music, so it's like, oh, there we go.
Yeah, we need a theme.
I've been doing, if you didn't know what it was for the Starrcade episodes, it was all like Rainbow Road, Mario kind of star music. Yeah, we do need a theme. We'll work on that. But until next time, I'm Nick.
I'm Emily.
Thanks for listening to the Butts in the Seats podcast.
Bye.